Okay, so ever since IBB, Ibrahim Badamasi Babangida's book launch, in which he said that, or in which he reveals that the 1966 coup, which had been termed forever as an Igbo coup, was not an Igbo coup. Igbos have been, quite jubilant and have been, shouting like all over the place, like "We told you so, we told you so." Um, the truth is, if you want to hang a dog, you've got to give it a bad name. Now, the reason why, they termed it an Igbo coup, the reason why the Fulanis of the north coined that coup as an Igbo coup was basically because of their fear of domination by the Igbos. And they were not alone. Even the Yorubas, Nigeria was basically afraid of domination by the Igbos. The whole of Nigeria feared that if care was not taken, they would be dominated by Igbo people. And this fear was manifestly expressed, by Sir Ahmadu Bello. Listen to this and I'll get back to you.
One thing I've noticed, Premier, while I've been here, is that Northerners seem to have, I might almost call it obsession about the Igbos. Could you perhaps explain that to me?
Well, the Igbos are more or less the type of people whose desire is mainly to dominate everybody. If they go to a village, to a town, they want to monopolize everything in that area. If you put them in a labor camp as a laborer, within a year they will try to emerge as headman of that camp, and so on.
Yeah, so you see, it's pretty clear. Everybody was afraid of the Igbos. And why shouldn't they be? For example, in the army, Igbos were 60% of the senior officers. In the civil service, Igbos were dominating. In the academia, Igbos were dominating. In business, Igbos were dominating. So when the 1966 coup happened, and it turned out that 90% of the coup plotters were Igbos, it was simply an opportunity to, to trim down these people. And the North, masterminded, instigated by the Fulanis, championed this. And unfortunately, the other parts of Nigeria bought into it, particularly the Yorubas, the Midwest, they bought into this lie that, that it was an Igbo coup. And Nigeria would use this, as an excuse to genocide, the Igbos or the Biafrans, as it were. Over 3 million lives were lost in the war that resulted from the events, the shenanigans, the consequences of that coup. However, the plotters of the coup made a mistake, but I understand their mistake. You see, when you remove a thick from somebody's hair, you should show the person the thick so that he does not think that you are just trying to pinch his head. The youngsters who plotted this coup and had wanted to install Chief Obafemi Awolowo as the prime minister of the country, as at then, did not understand Nigeria well enough to see that if their coup failed, that it will be interpreted as such. Because they were detribalized, they didn't understand, they didn't see that this coup could have been interpreted as such. If not, they would just simply have gotten more people from other tribes into the coup plot, to balance it out. Perhaps if they had included more Yorubas in their plan, especially since it was Awolowo that they wanted to install, as the prime minister, perhaps, just perhaps, it might not have been given that, Igbo coup painting, that the coup eventually was painted as.